And welcome to Buford, Georgia, the Buford Arena. This is the inaugural football game for the Atlanta Havoc, live here in Buford, Georgia. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone, as they get ready to take on the Florida Tarpons. James O'Brien and my partner Walter Dunson as we get ready to get things rolling here.
Yeah, we're excited. It's going to be a good football game, looks like, and these teams look like they're ready to play.
They do, and Walter, of course, you've got a lot of experience in the outdoor world. This is a little bit different world.
Yeah, this is very different. I tell you, these guys are going to be able to come in here and try to play on this 50-yard field. I tell you, I don't know if I can play on this field. I think you get, if you're a real fast guy, you're running about a 4.3, 4.40, I think you're going to get up the field pretty quick, and you're going to run out of space after a while, unlike on the 100-yard field.
Exactly, and of course, kicker's very important in traditional football, even more so in this particular thing, is there's no punting.
Right, and also on those field goals, those guys don't have very much room to miss. I tell you, you're going to have to be pretty accurate.
There's no doubt about that. And, of course, it is a running clock. A lot of the rules are the same as in outdoor football. There are some differences, though, and we'll continue to go over those as the game goes on. Of course, the biggest one being the 25-yard field and, no punting. So
no punting.
You got to score or kick it every time.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, as a offensive guy, I always want the ball. I mean, we can give me another down to try to score. I would love to have that.
Well, and the reality is this is one of those situations where 2 or 3 stops in a ball game could be all the difference.
Yeah, I've spoken with several guys that played in this arena game, and they said that one guy from a management level as a coach and another guy from a player's level, he said that if you get 3 or 4 stops in this game and you can continue to score, you should have an opportunity to come out victorious.
That's exactly it. And, of course, I know this is the first event they've held here that was not tied to the GHSA, so a lot of excitement in the Buford area around that as well.
Yeah, I mean, these folks are excited. Got a nice turnout. Good job for the local team here.
Yep, and of course, this is the expansion year for Buford. The Tarpons, we'll talk about this as the game goes on. They've been around a while and cut a couple championships, and looks like we're getting ready to black things out, and we're going to, I believe he wanted us to throw it to the field. And looks like we're getting ready to go here as the color guard has gotten it done. And, of course, couldn't be more appropriate. The home team decked out in green on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, I was thinking that, and I forgot that day was St. Patrick's Day. I've been busy all day doing some other things. And I put my green shirt on in support of the Havoc, and I got in the store. Lady said, "Happy St. Patrick's Day." I said, "Oh, yeah. Thank you." Same to you.
Yeah, it worked out well. Of course, as we talked about, the Tarpons come in here, and very accomplished team. I think they've been around 7 years, never finished worse than second in their division, and getting ready to get things rolling here. A lot of teams, for those that, of course, this is new for Buford, but a lot of teams right here in the state of Georgia with the AAL. Got a team out in Dalton, the Peach State Cats. You've got a team down in the Macon area, the Doom.
Yep.
And then a affiliate team down in the Savannah area, the Outlaws.
Yep.
So,
it's good for the area, good for the state, I guess, and gives more guys opportunity to continue their careers, and with the hope of possibly someday going to play at NFL level, or maybe even the Canadian Football League, or even maybe any other league that or that Arena 1 or something like that. It's a great opportunity for these guys to continue playing.
Well, and we do love our football in the state of Georgia, so an opportunity to have some here in the springtime is not a bad thing.
Absolutely.
So get ready to teams warming up out there, and this is going to be a little bit of a learning curve for us, as well as much more the outside guys. But we both you talked about it. You were involved with the Georgia Force when they were here, and but it is a different game. It's very fast paced. For those people who love hockey and some of the other sports like that, it kind of a little bit like that. It never stops.
Yeah, it's a mixture of, it has a hockey feel with the NBA fast break model and football. You blend those three sports, and that's what you have when you look at this arena game.
Yep, and of course this is a heck of a way for the Havoc to get things started with a team that has won a lot of ball.
Yeah,
and of course, we were interested to see not a bad turnout this evening on the St. Patrick's Day.
And they're still coming in. Still coming in. So it's going to be a nice atmosphere. The guys will be pumped, I tell you. One thing as a player that you feed off that energy.
Oh, absolutely.
You feed off that. That crowd is into it, and you're into it, and you make a big hit or you make a big run. You're into it, and you feel good about that.
And, of course, they get things started with a traditional coin toss. That is the same. And we'll be looking to get things going here shortly. And I have not seen the indication on who won that flip yet. Beautiful facility, and of course, it was nice the rain ended today. Got a nice weekend coming up for the rest of the weekend here in the Atlanta area. And of course, the Buford Arena has been home to some other things. First public event was a GHSA wrestling tournament. And 5,500 people, that's pretty good seating capacity for a high school indoor anything.
That's a nice capacity, I'll tell you. This is a nice facility, very nice facility.
Yep, and of course, everybody knows how accomplished Buford has been in athletics, and this will only help that cause.
Yeah, when you drive up onto their campus, you call it.
Yes.
You see all the, you can see the excellence and and the dedication and the commitment that they have towards their athletic programs here. You can definitely see that the minute that you drive up onto the campus.
Exactly. Looks like the Havoc will be kicking off here to get things started. And that looks like Francos is back deep for the Tarpons, as they are out of Lakeland, Florida.
Wow.
I believe they've got a brand new arena down there as well this year. A little different look kicking off from the end zone. There's the kick. And that is up into the rafters. And we'll see how. I know there's a rule about it coming back out of the end zone. I'm not sure what the deal is if it hits the rafters.
Yeah, I thought I read where like all these balls were live. And
right. It's like they're going to get the ball on the 20 to get things going.
And that makes sense because what you're doing, you're going to punish the defense.
Right.
Or the kicking team. You're punishing the kicking team for such an attempt. And that way, because they wanted to encourage the return.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense.
So we'll get things started. Havoc on defense. And, of course, the 50-yard field, so only 30 yards away for the Tarpons. As Chris Wallace will be under center for the Tarpons. And pass complete to the sideline.
That was a nice little catch right there on a little quick stop route.
Well, and one of the things that's different, more like the Canadian League, you can have a man in motion towards the line in this that you can't have in traditional American football.
Right. Just like the Canadian League in that, just like the Canadian Football League in that sense.
And basically, everybody's an eligible receiver except for the 3 linemen.
Right.
So it's 8-on-8. Of course, some of the smaller schools around here play 8-man football. You see that a lot out in the Midwest and all, where populations might not lend for 11-man football.
I officiated several of those 8-on-8 football games, and I tell you, there's some good football being played in the 8-man game. Yep. Very good football.
As they head towards the line. Wallace under center. And Rob Taylor is the running back. Will pressure. He's going to run it. There's a first down of the game.
I tell you, Wallace is a big kid. At quarterback, he built about like Byron Leftwich.
Yes.
He has a big body. He's not an easy guy to take down, I tell you.
No, there's no doubt about that. Looking here. Yeah, 6'2", 220 is Wallace. Takes a snap. And we're going to have a little interference there.
Yeah, that's a hole right there. Right on the – should be right there at the goal line. I saw it correctly.
20.
It's going to be a spot foul. It's going to be
takes a snap.
Tarpons ball right there at the goal line.
We're going to have a little interference there.
Yeah, that's a hole.
Must have called a hold earlier than that, I'm guessing.
It looks like he did.
Just late coming out with a flag, going to give it to him on the 9-yard line. So it'll be first and goal for the Tarpons.
You want that call instead of a pass interference, I tell you. That pass interference call is a spot foul.
Runner in motion. There's a little toss. Nice defense.
Yeah. That's a nice play. Outside backer that looks like. Put a quick little shovel pass to the left side. You running sideline to sideline. They're going to shut that down pretty quick in this game.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to do.
You have to get vertical now.
Yep. And that was Cannon Derrick coming up making the tackle. He played his college ball down the street at Georgia State. So that'll bring up second and goal. Actually lost about a yard on that. Wallace looking for a receiver. He's going to throw that one away as he gets hit.
There's a lot of pressure there, I tell you, right up the middle. That's a missed assignment somewhere. He came untouched right up the middle.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. You can't really do that. I don't care what kind of football you're playing.
It doesn't matter where, from rec ball through the NFL, you cannot miss that assignment there. That was the nose guard coming right up the middle.
Yep. That was Dante Rump coming up the middle. Brings up a big 3rd down. This would be a huge stop here for the Havoc. Wallace drops, hits his man. They got an opportunity to stop him there. Great play by the defense on the Havoc.
That's a very good play. Again, just another little quick hitch to the left side. Corner came up, make the play like you're supposed to. Good job.
Be interesting to see what the Tarpon decide to do here. I don't know that you can really afford to kick a lot of field goals in this situation, but you got to get points.
Yeah, you know, and the other thing about kicking field goals in this particular in arena ball is ball placement.
Right.
Chances are you want that ball in the middle of the field. You don't have those wide goalposts like here like you do in the NFL.
Yeah, that's a really tough angle. Only 10 feet wide on the goalpost for this one. They're going to go for it on 4th down. And they're going to have good pressure and a sack for the Havoc. That's 2 sacks on the first defensive possession for the Havoc. You've got to be very, very happy with that. And that was a big rump coming through there again.
Big rump, that guy. That's a heck of a series from him. He had 2 big plays to stop that drive.
In a very offensive league, a stop on your first possession as a defense, that's something else right there.
Stop, like you said earlier, stop, you know, anytime in this game is huge, especially on that first drive.
Right.
That sets the tempo.
It does set the tempo and gets the crowd fired up as they continue to file in here. And Lee Chappell will be under center for the Havoc to get things started. And the Tarpons answer with a nice defensive play of their own. Of course, only one coach during the game on the field with them.
Supposedly no coaches on the field.
Right.
11-man ball.
Exactly.
We know how that is.
Yeah. And it'll be 2nd down for the Havoc. Got a man down the sideline. Touchdown.
Woo, nice route.
Ryan McDaniel.
Very nice route.
Out of Samford University, catching the first ever touchdown for the Atlanta Havoc as they are off to a good start here.
That was a heck of a route that time. A double move, corner bit on the first move, which allowed the receiver to get behind him for the score.
And we'll see whether the Havoc, they're going to kick the extra points. A lot of times they'll go for 2 in arena ball. And the kick is up and blocked. And, of course, that could have been returned. They dropped him at the 15, but 6-0. And that's really the first thing that's gone wrong for the Havoc, and this one is the blocked extra point.
And the thing is, you want to start off the way you started off on defense, number 1. Number 2, you came down as soon as you got the change of possession, you got the ball back and you scored on your second play. And those are the things that you want to do. What you don't want to do is have a blocked extra point.
Right.
In this game, we know points is a big deal. I mean, 1 point makes a huge difference in this high-scoring game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, and the Havoc will be kicking off again here. With 8:04 to go in the first quarter, it's a 6-0 lead for the Atlanta Havoc. As they take on one of the powers in AAL football, the Florida Tarpons.
You know, as a player, I would want to play a team like this to start it off. I really would.
Yep.
I want to see where we are.
And it is a great test to find out exactly where you are.
I want to see where my team is. If I'm a coach or if I'm an owner, hey, let's just see where we are. Let's start out with one of the best teams in this league.
And there's a kick by Solomon. And Of course, he adjusted a little bit after that first one going off the rafters.
Yeah, he did. He got it down.
Yeah, not exactly the same height ceiling as the Mercedes-Benz.
Definitely not.
So, a little bit different.
Yeah.
Ball will come out to the 20.
This is a good night for some football. Good night for some football.
Yeah, it is. The crowd's still making its way in. So it looks like they're
good support here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Even down here in the end zone, got a good number of folks.
Yeah. And, you know, just so they know, we're talking about the horseshoe. I mean, you got folks all the way around.
There's the snap. Looking for somebody. Great coverage. Yeah, looks like flag on the play. And a defensive holding.
Is this the first year they used that ball? I mean, I don't recall seeing a pure white ball.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's a bad idea, though, in this setting because it is pretty easy to pick up.
With the backdrop, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I have not seen the white ball before. So that'll bring up a 1st and 10 at midfield, which, of course, is a 25-yard line here in Arena League. Nothing doing for that run.
You're just not going to get outside these guys. These guys close too quick. They're too fast, and they're strong. They're getting off the block and making the play in the backfield every time.
Yeah, Taylor just really not getting an opportunity to get going. Nothing doing for that. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10. There's a drop and great pressure again. Had to throw it away.
Oh, that time the center just ran completely over that time.
I'm going to tell you what, Mr. Rump is having a heck of a ball game here early.
Mr. Rump is having a heck of a game, and he just ran through that guy like I was the center, like I was blocking him. He didn't stop. He didn't even break stride. He ran right through it, and he caused the quarterback to move out of the pocket, which caused the throwaway.
Yep, big 3rd and 10. Of course, no punting in the league, so then if they can stop them here, you probably see a field goal attempt, I would guess. Of course, Wallace under center, Taylor behind him. And contact, but couldn't get him. Slapped away at the last minute.
That was a great defensive play. He was beat. The defensive back was beat on the play. Great closing speed. Like I said, this team can fly around. They move good from side to side, and they're closing very good on those in the secondary. Very good job.
And once again, that defensive line getting the quarterback off his spot.
And that's what's important as well. And that's what defensive backs love is that pressure up front, forcing that quarterback to not be able to throw in rhythm, and then be able to throw the ball when he doesn't want to throw the ball, allowing the opportunity to close on it.
And the Tarpons going to go for it here on a 4th and 10. There's a drop, and now going to get a flag. There's a return to the 20. Looking for, still on his feet, down to the 25, but I got a feeling this is coming back.
There's a very good chance it's going to come back. I don't know. I don't know what he saw because he threw the flag after the ball was intercepted.
Right.
So I don't know what he saw and when he saw it.
Well, we got a little conference going on.
Wow.
have a pass interference. Well,
you might have well, I don't know if it's uncatchable or not. I don't know.
Yeah, looking at the replay here.
I mean, I think it's uncatchable there. I mean,
yeah,
he's not going to get to that ball.
It must have been well, but
I guess he's saying yeah. I guess he's calling the interference.
Unless he pushed off, and we couldn't really see it from that replay. The home crowd not liking the call.
I'm with them on that one.
I kind of am too. That's going to bring up a first down now on the 15-yard line. As the Tarpons bailed out by the pass interference. There's a nice little gain down to just short of the first down.
They're right there at those down markers. I wonder how many sets of down markers they go through in an arena football game.
I tell you what, you're going to be official in the Arena League. You better, you better head your heaven on a swivel.
You better be getting out of the way.
That's going to bring up second and very, very short. See if they try and run it here. They have had no success doing that so far. Yeah, nice little dive play. That's where you're going to be successful.
That's the only place you're going to be successful against this Havoc team. You're not going to be able to run from side to side. Just a quick little dive play right up the middle.
Yep, and Taylor coming in at 6'2", 260. He's a load.
He's a load. He is a big kid. He's a big kid.
And that's going to bring up another first and goal. Of course, we've been here before, and the Havoc managed to get out of it, giving up no points. We'll see how they do here. There's an easy little toss into the end zone for a touchdown.
Like a little tackle eligible.
How they do here. That's a little nice little twist there.
Yeah, just let your man go. He's rushing, and you just step out. 3 yards, you're in the end zone. Touchdown.
Tie ball game, and the Tarpons will be kicking the extra point, trying to get their first lead of the very young season.
It's a fast game. There's already 2 minutes left to go in this game.
Yeah, I got that running clock until the last minute of the first half.
Yeah.
There's a snap, and the kick is up and good. So the Tarpons take a 7-6 lead here with 2:17 to go in the first quarter. Havoc will be getting the ball back and see if they can answer.
I think the Havoc offense looked good that first possession. The thing is, you want to come out and you want to strike back.
Right.
You have to strike back, and you just have to get points. Whether it's a field goal, whether it's 7 points, 6 points, whatever, you just have to get points right here.
When you kind of feel like you're ahead of the curve getting that early stop, because now even a field goal helps you maintain that lead as long as you continue to get points.
Right, and again, you're playing against a team that has the tradition of they won 2 championships, as you say, and they're like the number 2 team in their league or the conference or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a team that's not going to lay down. They're going to take those blows, and you're going to just come back and you just got to keep striking.
And this will be the first opportunity for a kickoff return for the Havoc. And if you're just joining us, the Tarpons got the ball to start the game.
I tell you, I like this atmosphere.
I
like this atmosphere.
I tell you what, as this catches on, this could be a very fun place to come see a ball game. And if you go to their website, ticket prices, man, you can't beat that for a night of entertainment for the whole family.
You can't beat those prices.
I mean, in this day and age where sports have gotten so expensive.
Right.
And we're going to go into the end zone, going to be brought out and dragged down deep inside.
Whoa.
Almost getting driven back.
Whoa, this should be, yeah.
Oh,
he should be tossed. They should toss him, number 6 there. He threw 2 punches.
You can't do that after you make a great play on a kickoff have an opportunity to pin the Havoc deep, and then you basically just lose your cool there.
Yeah, they should toss him. That should be automatic. He threw 2 punches right here on this left sideline here.
And the officials are huddling and discussing that right now. Yeah, no place for that.
Nah. Not in this game, not in any game.
No, it's not like these are heated rivals or something. That's not giving the boot. That is going to give the Havoc much better field position. They were going to be pinned down about their 2-yard line.
Even in the NFL, that's
right.
Don't want to see kids come here, watch you guys play, and they see
Exactly.
type of behavior, and it's rewarded by you being able to stand.
Right. So the Havoc now trailing by 1. They'll have the ball on their own 14-yard line. Nice pass over the middle.
Nice route. A quick slant across the middle.
And this is a great place for wide receivers to show off their skills.
Absolutely, absolutely. The thing is, you just don't want to run out of space quick.
Right.
So this is a good venue and a good place for those skills guys to get some work.
And we got a timeout.
I think they're working on the chain.
And they settle back in. There's a little handoff, and he's going to drive for some yardage. Man, that's some tough sledding right there.
Yeah, that was a very good job right there. I mean, I think we're beginning to see, and is that to be successful in the run, you're going to have to run the ball straight ahead right now.
Right, exactly.
You're not going to get outside these teams. They're just too fast laterally.
Just can't spread them out enough.
You can't. And you run out of real estate quick going the other way.
Nice run by Zachary Brown on that. Brings up a 2nd and 5. Drop by Chappell. He's going to miss a man about the 4-yard line, a little bit behind him. Constantly having to hit tight windows in this ball game.
Yeah, these windows are very, very tight. I mean, the defender's there. You just have to make that throw, and you only have, we're talking about a hand's length difference between an interception and a touchdown, or just a catch.
And that's going to do it for the first period of the ball game. It's 7-6 after 1. Kind of low score for this league.
It is a low score for an arena football game. 7-6, still anybody's game.
And we'll see if it stays that way. Something's got a sneaky suspicion it may not.
Yeah, I think these teams are. I mean, I think it's their first game.
Right.
So it's just getting some of the jitters out, and they'll come back and they'll be ready to play second quarter moving forward.
Kind of got that feeling out process going on. And, of course, it is 4 15-minute quarters. Each team has the 3 timeouts. And it's a 1-minute warning as opposed to 2-minute warning that you have in the NFL.
Right.
And if you are in the lead, you have to get forward movement or the clock will stop in that last 1 minute. So it's almost like an extra timeout if the defense is playing well.
Yeah, and it helps. It helps. I mean, it makes you continue to play the game.
Well, and the reality with a 50-yard field, you're always within striking distance.
You really are. Definitely always in striking distance.
And Chappell back up under center. And going to hit a man on a crossing route.
Wow.
And off the dasher board and into the end zone for a touchdown. Now the dasher boards are in play unless you are touched out at the bottom. is my understanding.
Correct. It's kind of hard to see the Havoc numbers. I think that was Malachi there, Malachi Jones, number 7 from Appalachian State, looks like. It's a good route, good throw.
It was.
Good run, tough run. He had contact probably about 5 yards out, you know, and we talk about yak yards after contact. He was able to go on into the end zone for 6.
And there's the extra point, and this one is good. 13-7 lead for the Havoc.
And that's what you want to do. You want to answer back.
Right.
Again, it doesn't matter whether it's 3 points, 6 points, 7 points. You just want to respond. Again, especially when you're playing against a team with the history that this team has. You just want to, hey, we're not going to back down from you. We're going to be here all night.
And the Havoc getting ready to kick off again as Solomon will do the kicking duties for the Havoc. Of course, no punting, so no punter on the roster. 21 active players on the roster. You're allowed a 30-man roster.
That helps with your travel budget.
Yes, yes, it does.
That helps with your travel budget, I tell you.
Well, that and so many of these teams, you kind of got 2 pockets of teams, some up kind of in the Northeast, but a lot of them are down here in the Southeast. Team over in Anderson, South Carolina, and several teams up in the North Carolina area. So,
no, I think I heard something where they were. I think Patrick might have said that there are some teams that they have that are just there to minimize the travel.
Right, and some of them are teams working towards it being an expansion team next year, and others are helping out with that. The team out of Savannah, the Outlaws, is one of those, and I believe the team out of Austin is as well.
Good.
And then there's a team up in the Northeast, and I'm not sure which one that is. As we get ready for the kickoff here. And there's the kick. And going to bring it out to the 5, to the 10, to the 15. Going to drag him down around the 19-yard line.
That guy can fly right there, I tell you. That's that same guy that threw the punch early.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Punch Man. He can run, though.
That he can.
He can fly.
Yep. Yeah, that's Reggie Ellis out of Allen University.
It's in Lakeland, Florida. Oh, he's from Lakeland, Florida.
So he's a hometown kid down there.
Yeah.
As the Tarpons are from Lakeland. There's 12 current teams playing this season and 3 affiliate teams. We're expecting a little more expansion next season. And that may be what these affiliate teams are looking for. There's a drop and a quick pass. And nice defense.
Yeah, that's a nice little throw and catch there. Another little quick hitch, 45-yard hitch.
Yeah, Jackson, good open field tackle there. As open as the field gets in this.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I mean, I'm impressed with this Havoc team. I tell you, defensively, they're closing like they're supposed to. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're outdoor or indoor.
Right.
I mean, if you can close on a ball like that, I tell you, you're playing a heck of a game.
Well, and that with the condensed field, that closing ability becomes amplified.
Absolutely.
There's a drop and going to try and hit a man down the sideline, and that's going to go out of bounds. As it sailed over the dasher board about the 3-yard line. That'll bring up a 2nd and 6, or 3rd and 6 rather.
I think something's wrong with the board down here.
They got a banner on the ground and doing a little housekeeping. (13-7), Havoc in the lead, and this has been surprisingly good defense out of the Havoc for an expansion team, first time on the field, and they've been tough.
This Havoc team come to play, I tell you. Again, that score 13-7 with 12 minutes left to go in the second quarter. I mean, that's a low-scoring game for an arena football game.
And that it is.
But that low-scoring game probably favors the Havoc team tonight, though. You want to keep that Florida team out of the end zone.
Absolutely the case. As they get ready to go here in the big 3rd down and 6. Red in motion, gonna hit him. A nice reach back catch, but he's gonna be a little bit short of the 1st down, looks like.
The 2nd and 4th down.
It's a nice tackle.
Oh. I think they probably said he dropped it.
They're showing it incomplete. Okay.
Yeah, it's a drop.
Well, the defender was saying incomplete, but they always say incomplete.
Yeah, you're programmed to say incomplete, even on a touchdown.
Yep.
Incomplete touchdown.
4th and 6 for the Tarpons. Wallace under center. Takes a drop. Some pressure, and there he is again, and he has been all over the field today. That's the big man in the center.
That's him.
Dante Rump.
Yeah, Dante Rump just called Havoc all day, so he's a load. I mean,
he is, and he has been very, very difficult to deal with.
I mean, he's 320 out of University of Kentucky, so he's not a scrub ball player by no means.
Well, they even had the running back helping out.
SEC, yeah.
And
he's a legit ball player.
And now the Havoc with an opportunity to expand that 13-7 lead here. And a 1st down on the 17-yard line. Chappell under center. Brown to his left. He's got a man in the corner. Did he hold on? Yes, he did. Wow.
Wow. He went over the dashboard, and he was still bobbling the ball. He had to possess the ball after he went over the board on his back to the ground. Touchdown.
Wow, what a play. Yep, bobbling it there, but secures it.
You have to secure it there.
And just like that, all of a sudden it's 19-7.
Wow. Heck of a play.
Which in outdoor football would be a huge lead. Indoor, it can turn quick.
Yeah, it happens real quick. Indoor.
But you got to be very happy with the start if you're the Havoc. Snap a little high.
Great block.
Kick up and good.
Very impressive.
It is. You could not ask for a better start.
Right. Again, against the team that you're playing against. Mm-hmm. Again, if I'm a coach, if I'm in management here, I mean, let's start off with the team that everybody says this is a good team, and they won championships, and they're ranked, whether it's nationally or whatever. I really don't care. I just want my kids to play them.
Right.
To
exactly.
see where we are.
Yep, and you see that at every level.
Yep.
You see a lot of high school coaches will if they've got a team that they feel like can make a run, they're gonna, schedule accordingly. And as we talked about earlier, looking for more expansion teams next year to be added. Of course, 3 affiliates playing this year. I'm not sure whether they plan on those all turning into full-fledged members next year.
Yeah.
That would seem to make sense. We get ready for another kickoff here.
And like you're going to have 4 teams that's going to qualify for the playoffs.
Yep, got 4 out of 12. So and one thing they do a little different is you can play teams that are like the games against the affiliate teams don't count as far as making the playoffs, but they do keep up with them in the standings. So if you go on the AAL league page, when you look at the standings as the season progresses, there will be 2 columns. One will indicate whether you're in the running for the playoffs. The other is just going to give the overall record. 20-7 as the Atlanta Havoc off to a wonderful start here in game number 1.
You know, I was telling people about this, and a lot of people didn't know that there was a team here in the BUFORD area. So tune in and try to come out and support these guys.
There's a kick, hit the rafter again, I do believe, so that'll be dead and come out to the 20. Well, the great part is this has almost got that college feel to it because there's very few ball games. If you pull up that entire schedule, if you're a big Havoc fan, you could follow this team pretty much everywhere they go.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, again, they're going to play all their games here at home starting at 7 p.m. each night. So it gives you plenty of time to do what you need to do during the day. And, you know, again, we know the daylight savings time, you got plenty of time to come out and enjoy the tailgate and festivities out in the parking lot and have a good time when you come inside as well.
And it's a Saturday. You don't even have work tomorrow.
You have nothing else to do.
That's exactly it. And I believe they head down to Macon to take on the Doom next week, if I'm not mistaken. So, and then back home the following week. And we're underway again. There's a snap. He's going to try and hit a man down the sideline. And that is good for a touchdown. And like we said, it can turn quick.
It turns quick. I mean, that's a heck of a play. Great route that time. Nice throw. Resulted in a touchdown. But again, one thing you noticed that Big Runt wasn't able to get any pressure on at that time. So,
and Hilton doing a good job of getting some separation there.
Yeah. Well executed play.
And that's just a fact of life in the indoor league is you're going to give some of those up.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
And they'll go for the one to try and cut it back to a 6-point lead here. Tell you what, this is a good crowd for.
It really is.
Game number 1.
It really is.
And that is good, and it is a 20-14 Havoc lead. They'll get the ball back here with 8:42 to go in the first half.
You know, I was there with Arthur Blank and working for the Falcons when he also owned the Georgia Force. And, you know, you talk about crowd size. You know, of course, it was a few more people there because, you know, again, that plays more into who Arthur Blank was.
Right. And
the NFL, the brand, still with that guy still owning that team. So this is a nice crowd in comparison.
Exactly. Of course, we talked about this earlier, 21 active players on the game day roster. You have 30 on the roster. 1 coach on the field during play, 5 officials, and then they provide 30 game balls. And it is a pro-style league.
30 footballs per game?
Per game.
That's a lot of football.
That is.
That's a lot of footballs. I guess I must go in the stands and let the
maybe so. That might be the case.
Yeah.
As we get ready for the kickoff. That one is high, stays out of the rafter tops.
Wow.
And Havoc will look to expand that lead again.
This really is a nice venue for
it really is.
For this arena football league. Very nice venue.
It ought to lend itself to a very nice atmosphere.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, everything is spacious. I mean, you're not on top of each other, and you know, from a direction standpoint, it's real simple. It's easy to get to. Very nice venue.
Yeah, it's proximity to the interstate. It's easy to get to if you're coming up from really anywhere in the Atlanta area.
Absolutely.
There's snap, little pitch play. That's the first success we've seen anybody have going wide.
It's a little quick pitch to the right side. He was able to get outside that end man there. Pick up on.
If you're going to have any success running wide, you better have wide receivers that can block in this league.
You better have some wide receivers that can block.
And that'll bring up a 2nd and 6 as Brown getting 4 on the first down run. Chappell fakes and going to go deep, and he's got a man.
That double move gets him every time. Nice little pump fake by the quarterback. Receiver get a little hitch and go. Goes in the end zone for 6.
And I believe that may be the second one for McDaniel. As Havoc on the board again, 26-14. And they're going to kick the extra point. I like the idea of not chasing points. That gets you in trouble.
Right.
You know, it's tempting when you have that first one blocked, but to me, until you get a little later in the game.
Yeah, right now you don't have to go for 2. Just continue going for the single extra point and keep putting pressure on that Tarpon team.
There's a snap, and the kick is up and good by Solomon.
All the kids fighting over the football. And fighting over the ball.
And Solomon out of Troy University.
He's a good ball player. That's a solid program down there.
Yes, it is. Just asked LSU.
Oh, yeah. It's a solid program. Troy University. A long time ago, Troy used to come to Carrollton to play against the University of West Georgia, which was West Georgia College back then. And I said a long time ago, man, this team is – you could tell that program was moving into another direction. And they've done a very good job there. They recruit a lot of kids out of that West Georgia area as well.
Well, and the reality is there's so much talent in the state of Georgia that the teams in the SEC, the ACC, they're not going to get them all. You look on the rosters of Mid-America Conference teams, and they are littered with kids from the state of Georgia and Florida and around the South.
And I think I understand that there are some kids that are locally that are playing for these teams here today, as I understand.
And that's a great approach for these teams to take. Add that local flavor. As you look down that roster, it's, you know, you got kids from Clark, Atlanta, some kids that played at Georgia. You know, there's a lot of kids that played college ball and probably high school ball in the area as well.
Yep.
There's the kickoff, and that one through the uprights, and that, I believe, results in some points. As we are still learning the rule differences.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I was wrong about that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to give him the ball at the 5-yard line. I knew it did something for him. So
that's just like points.
Yeah, and this it almost is. Yeah,
to a defensive coach anyway.
Well, I might just set Mr. Rump loose here.
Oh yeah, they can't stop Mr. Rump. I tell you, he's playing a heck of a ball game. You know, one thing also, as you watch the game, you don't see a whole lot of trash talk from this Havoc team, and they just shut up and play.
That's it. Wallace drops into his end zone, and they get him, but he gets rid of the ball. And that was Larry Ford coming up. He played ball at West Virginia.
Another solid program. I mean, there are kids here from, Liberty and Toledo, Indiana State, Florida, Valdosta State, which we know. Those are some pretty good programs, to name a few.
And that's going to set up a 2nd and 10 from their 5-yard line. Here's the snap, and hold them out this time, trying to hit a long one. Great defensive position there.
Wow. Good coverage. I mean, he had the guy pinned, and exactly what you want to do as a quarterback. You want to stay between the man and the ball. That's what you always taught. And leave the quarterback no place to throw the ball. If he completes that ball, the guy's going to be out of bounds or up against the dashboard.
There's LaRoche Jackson out of Clark, Atlanta on the coverage.
Another local guy.
And that's the other thing with the smaller roster. People are going to get to know these guys quickly.
Absolutely.
So that sets up a 3rd and 10 as Wallace takes a snap. More pressure coming, and he gets rid of it. Oh. And that lame duck coming out there, but he's able to track it down. That's a big play for the Tarpons.
Well, he just threw that away. That was almost a throwaway.
Yeah, Robert Red on the reception, but tell you what, that was dangerous.
Yeah, that was very dangerous.
Well, I guess you're going down in your end zone. You don't have a lot to lose there.
You really don't. You're going to take a safety. You're going to be a safety either way. Well, throw it away. I'd much rather take that safety, though, than to give up
7
to this team.
Exactly.
The way the Havoc is playing right now.
Quick hitter to the side. He makes a nice move, but I tell you what, nice defensive play by Robinson.
This Havoc team closes very well from side to side. I mean, they fight off the block and then go in and make the play. That's what teams look for. You know, that's a heck of a play on any level. It doesn't matter if it's rec ball, junior high school ball, college ball, whatever, NFL, it doesn't matter. That's a heck of a play right there. Fight off the block, go in to make the tackle.
I'll tell you what, it looks like you're going to have a very tough time doing anything wide against this Havoc team.
It's just hard to run from side to side. You can't play them laterally. You have to go vertical to play when you play against this Havoc team.
Red in motion. There's a throw into the end zone. Complete.
Last minute breakup.
Once again, there you go with what you're talking about, that closing speed.
Yeah, that closing speed. I mean, you know, the thing about that closing speed is this. They're not really beating the man. They're beating the ball to the spot. And that's what you want to be able to do, beat the ball to the spot. And that's why coaches get on the quarterbacks all the time about getting the ball out, the ball out now. Because these guys are too fast and they're too good. They're going to close on the ball. They're not closing on the man. It looks like they are, but they're not. They're closing on the ball.
Well, that's once again knowing your surroundings.
Correct.
This is not a 100-yard field.
Absolutely. Especially here, you really don't have that much time. You got to see it, get rid of it now. You hold that ball 2 or 3 seconds longer, you got Mr. Rump in your face, and you have the secondary that's closing on the ball right now.
And, of course, both teams get 3 timeouts for each half. Tarpons down by, it must have been worth a point because it's 28-14.
Yeah.
So 1 point for kicking it through.
And the 5-yard line.
And the 5-yard line. Double whammy.
Yeah.
So that makes up for that missed extra point. So they're right back on track now. Down to 3:02 to play here in the first half of this inaugural game for the Atlanta Havoc. Coaches and players have to be very pleased with the start.
Yeah, they really are.
Looking for a man on the
throws
the interception.
There's that closing
Back
speed.
to the 15, 20, 25. He may take this all the way, and he does.
There's that closing speed again, I tell you. You cannot hold the ball that long. These guys close too good.
He kind of baited him into that. You know, the reality is, while Wallace has an accurate arm, it's not necessarily the strongest, and I think the Havoc have kind of tuned into that and taken advantage of it.
And I think that's good. That's a good scouting report, and that allows you to pick up that, you know, because, again, like to your point, is that they're not covering the guy like completely blanketing him. They're giving him that little cushion, and they're setting the quarterback up to make him think that guy's open. He tosses the ball. They go in for the easy pick, and they go in for 6.
And Robinson bringing it all the way back for the touchdown, as they look to make it a 21-point lead. Wow.
Just like that.
Just like that. Snap, the kick is good. As the
ball bounced back
young
down.
men up on the upper deck couldn't track that one down. It was a little too fast for him. But got to be a lot of smiles for the folks wearing green tonight.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking a minute ago. The score's like 14-7 or something.
Right.
Like 6 whatever. Now it's like 35-14. That quick. That quick.
And the owner, Tim Veens, has got to be very excited about this start. Of course, he's a NASCAR driver. He's familiar with fast starts.
He's definitely familiar with the speed and the tempo of a game like this, and that, getting around that track. He knows all about speed.
Yep, and of course, Gerald Boo Mitchell, the coach for the Havoc in this first season. Great start. Now let's see him try and finish this thing, because that sometimes a great start, you know, a lot of enthusiasm. Got to maintain that coming out of the half. Down to 146 here in the first half.
And this last minute is very important. It's crucial, because again, you want to start good and finish good.
As we get ready for the kickoff. See if Solomon tries.
You see a lot of kids in here with their jerseys on, the football jerseys, and
yeah, a lot of Havoc jerseys hanging around.
Yeah.
And I tell you, with the low-hanging screen in the middle, kicking that thing through the uprights, that's even more impressive.
Yeah, it really is. When you have that four-sided scoreboard right in the center of the field.
I'll tell you what, for a high school facility, that is some fantastic stuff up there.
These are some nice facilities, I tell you.
It really, really is. You almost forget it's a high school facility when you're in here.
Yeah, you really do. You really do.
And we'll see what that Havoc defense has in store for the Tarpons here. With 1:35 to go, clock ticking, and that'll change when we get inside that 1 minute. Little inside handoff, that's a little surprising.
They might be just trying to run the clock out. Why, I don't know.
Yeah, in this short field, they may just be wanting to run it down to not give a Havoc time to. But the Havoc will get the ball first to start the second half. Just adds insult to injury. And that will bring up second down. Down to that 1 minute warning.
1 minute warning, just like the 2 minute warning in a 11-man game.
Right. Difference is the clock difference doesn't matter here because the Tarpons are behind. If the Havoc had the ball and there's a negative play, the clock stops. Not the case when the Tarpons have the ball.
Okay. Kind of like that rule, you know.
I do too. It keeps the team from just burning that.
Yeah.
Adds a little bit.
Kind of like that rule.
Yep.
There's a rule that you'll never get.
Oh, no.
Implemented in the 11-man game.
No.
You got the University of whatever. They're never going to allow that.
Right.
They're going to argue that even for high school teams. Hey, don't let them do that.
So we'll see what the Tarpons do here. And that may have just been a case of wanting to get it down to that 1 minute.
Not burn timeout.
No man in motion this time. Going to take a quick drop and try and hit a man in the corner. Goes over the backer boards, holds on, and that is a touchdown.
Another good play. Great catch by the receiver. He went up in the air. He was airborne. His feet never came down in the end zone. He caught the ball against or on top of the dashboard, which I think is in bounds.
Yes, it is. Yep, and that's about as open as you're going to get in this league.
Yeah, I don't understand how he got that open, though. Because one thing right here you got to protect is the deep ball. You know they're trying to throw the – actually, with the exception of maybe a few, every completed pass has been a deep ball here tonight against this Havoc team.
Yeah, they have had very little success on the short stuff and almost none on the wide short stuff. Going to try and kick the extra point and cut this to a 14-point lead. That's great for the Tarpons. Bad news is Havoc get the ball right back.
Get it right back, and they get it back again.
Right.
So they might put up 14 points here.
Yeah, thus far the Tarpons without a stop in this one. Lunsford kick is up and good. And that's a 14-point lead. And on a 100-yard field, 51.4 seconds, not a lot of time. On a 50-yard field, that's a lot of time.
That's like giving Brady 5 minutes.
Exactly. Florida Tarpons were founded in 2011 out of Lakeland, Florida. Play their home games at the RP Funding Center. Head coach and GM is Michael Taylor, and they won league championships in 13 and 15. 42-13 record overall. That's something else.
Very impressive.
And I was looking at it earlier. They only have 9 regular season losses in their history.
Wow.
So
this is just not a good team. This is a very good
football
team.
Program. Exactly.
This is a very good football program that he have here at the Florida Tarpons.
Kind of the standard bearer.
Yeah.
Like I said, never finishing worse than second place in their division. There's the kick. It will stay out of the rafters and off the fence, and out it comes. Not something I ever thought I'd be saying at a football game.
Play it off the wall.
Yeah, play it off the wall. That's it. I tell you what, though, it is a fun brand of football.
It is. It is. It is. It's a fast game. It's a fun game. There's never a dull moment. You just sit back and just hold on because it's coming.
Yep. And like you said earlier, it is an opportunity for these players to show their wares, especially when you're looking at quarterbacks and wide receivers. I mean, a quarterback that can hit a small window, you got to be able to do that at any of the higher levels.
Absolutely.
As we get ready to go here with 51 seconds to go. There's a snap, and that's the first pressure we've seen out of the Tarpons today. And I think that was
Mr. Dillon, number 9, on that sack there.
And that will set up a second down. And of course, that stops the clock because the Havoc with the ball and the lead, that's like an extra timeout for the Tarpons.
Again, you have to gain positive yards.
It's going to bring up a 2nd and 14 for the Havoc. And my guess is they're not just looking to run clock. They'd like to get some more points before halftime.
Oh, absolutely. They're definitely trying to score here. And to also know that you get the ball back to start the half.
Yeah, you really have an opportunity to almost put this thing away if you could do back-to-back touchdowns. I mean, you always got a shot in this league. But, boy, if you could stretch it out that much.
14 more points would be big.
Chappell sends his man in motion, takes a snap. Got some time, and he's hit as he throws. And all of a sudden, a little bit more pressure coming out of Florida.
Here you have to ask yourself, do you want to run the ball to take some time off that clock, force Florida into using another timeout, or do you want to go for it?
Yeah, because
risk the incompletion.
Yeah, because the contrast to that is, and there's no punting, so you're running the risk of giving them a short field, not a lot of time, but you wouldn't need a lot of time.
Right.
And then that scenario we talked about pulling out the big lead could go out the window in a hurry.
Absolutely.
He's got a man. Can he get it? Might be intercepted. And it is. Might have actually been the best thing that could have happened for the Havoc.
That's a punt.
That is a punt in this league. You're absolutely right.
That's not a bad play, folks. That's not a bad play. Because, again, you flip the field.
Exactly.
You flip the field. And, again, that's as good as a punt. As a coach, I can live with it.
And 21.4 seconds. And we'll see where they're going to place the ball at. I'm not sure where they.
Like it's going to be around the 5, looks like.
Yeah, they may have ruled that to be a touchback.
On the right hash, which is.
It's like they're playing with a big ostrich egg.
It's a big white ball.
It is.
Look about like a rugby ball.
It really does look like a rugby ball. And the Havoc, of course, you don't want to get anybody behind you here. You hit a man on the sideline and he'll drive him out.
That's all you want to do is keep it in front of you.
Exactly. Did not get the first down. Clock running. They're going to use their timeout. Down to 11.9 seconds.
That's all you want to do. You can't get beat deep here. You just cannot get beat deep. You got to stay back and keep everything underneath. If you just play back and let them catch everything underneath, just come up and make the tackle.
I think they may have reset. Yeah, they reset the clock to 14 seconds. And this is a big possession in this ball game.
This is a huge possession.
If the Havoc can keep them out of the end zone, you get the ball first in the second half. I mean, you can go into halftime with a lead no matter what, but I'd much rather go in there with a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
Tell you what, good to be at a event like this and see this many kids running around.
Yeah,
you don't
always
see
good
that
to see these kids here. Coaches are with them. They have on their uniforms. Look good.
A little dump off. We got a flag on the field.
That's an indication where it should be something related to offense here if that guy threw the flag. He threw it pretty quick. Might have been a lineman downfield early.
We'll find out here in just a moment.
Unless they're
going to be down to 8.3 seconds.
No, actually it's going to be.
We're going to turn that down, which makes sense.
Yeah, the decline is, it must be some type of.
I don't know.
I don't know what. I
never saw indication of what
the play happened so quick. I don't know what it could have been against the defense. In 11-man football, just a little quick screen. And it happened so quick, I don't know what could have happened.
Well, that's going to give them a first down at midfield. And there's a replay. Well, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tarpons at midfield with 8.3 seconds to go. Tarpons looking to cut into that lead. We're going to hit a man at the 14. He's going to tag himself out, basically.
That's what he did.
which is the equivalent of running out of bounds. And
you know, normally you could say, well, this should be the last play, but
you just don't know. It's such a short field.
They can run 10 yards easily and still have to catch the ball, get tackled inbound, and still have time on the clock.
So 3.7 seconds to go. Ball on the 16-yard line as the Tarpons look to try and cut that lead. Timeout, Havoc. That is a good timeout there.
That's a good timeout.
We'll make sure you're on the same page here. Don't want to have a mix-up.
Yeah. You just want this Florida team to think about it a little longer. Maybe we should change it now since they saw our set.
Right.
And that's what you're looking for. That's why you call a timeout. You just want to see the offensive set so you can adjust. And you don't want to force it. It's a chess match. Just want to make them change it up. And a lot of times when we do an offense, we don't change it. We just motion back to it.
Right.
We don't come out lined up in the same formation. We'll motion back to that formation to give us the same formation that we had the last time.
Now, in the short yardage, how big of an advantage is that man in motion who's being able to move towards the line of scrimmage?
Well, the greatest strength you have with that guy coming towards the line of scrimmage, your defensive back, he's backing up right now. And he can come out and run that quick stop, and your guy's still in the end zone backing up.
There's a snap, man in motion. Good pressure, and they're going to get him.
We have a flag on the play.
We do have a flag on the play. I'm wondering if he got a hold of something he wasn't supposed to. Yeah, it looks like it must be against the Tarpons. Men in green are clapping.
I think every penalty just about is going against the Havoc tonight so far.
Offensive holding, and that will do it for the first half. As the Havoc coming away with another sack there. And I tell you, that defensive line, to me, when you look at this first half, the difference has been the defensive line for the Havoc.
Absolutely. I mean, they cause a lot of havoc up front. Imagine that. The Havoc cause a lot of havoc up front. And that's what you have to have. Your defensive line have to be disruptive, get the quarterback off his point, off his spot, make him move around in the pocket, make him throw when he doesn't want to throw. These defensive backs are good enough to close on the ball, even if they get beat by the man. They're good enough to close on the ball, and it showed in the first half. I mean, Mr. Rump had a huge first half.
That they did, and I believe we are going to enjoy a laser show now. So we'll take a break. We'll be back with some highlights before the second half.
Start at 5.
And welcome back to Buford, Georgia, the Buford Arena, as we are here for the inaugural game of the Atlanta Havoc, and they are off to a great start, Walter. It's a 35-21 halftime lead for the Havoc, and they got to be very happy with the first half. Now got to close it out.
Yeah, I mean it's a heck of a way to start not only the season, but to also start the introduction of the franchise as a whole. It's a great way to start. Came out, got a stop on defense, came back and put points up on the first possession on offense, and they played good on defense throughout the night. And the defensive backs look good, and the defensive line is doing a great offensive line, providing great protection for the quarterback. Just a good night.
And we're going to throw to some first half highlights. There's a nice defensive pressure there by the Havoc, and that was really the difference in the first half.
I tell you, man, that guy's there been lights out. Nobody's been able to block him all night. Having a heck of a game so far.
And then, of course, the wide open throw to the corner to really get the offense rolling there. And once again, another nice move by the wide receiver here is bouncing off a defender and taking it in.
And getting those yards after contact.
Once again, hitting him in the corner and over the top of the. That's an inbounds play. That's an inbounds play.
That's a touchdown.
And, of course, the great defensive play there to break that one up.
That was a great throw, great catch.
Yeah, that one's worth a second look right there. And that's really the only offensive production the Tarpons had was those deep passes.
The deep ball's been their only. That's been their best offensive play all night.
And of course, the Havoc matching them there. Yeah,
that's a great play right there. Got a pump fake with the quarterback. Got a double move with the wide receiver. 6 points.
And then once again, seeing the Tarpons go long, and he goes over the top of the boards, and there's the big interception.
There's a great close on this play by the cornerback. Picks it off, goes the distance.
And there you have it, 35-21. And the Havoc with an opportunity to stretch it out here. They're going to get the ball first in the second half, and that's a huge advantage.
I mean, right before the end of the half, there was a huge play where we had the Havoc where they threw an interception. Under most circumstances, like you're fussing and you're arguing like that's a bad play, or but that was a smart play actually. It's as good as a punt, throwing the ball away and setting up for the end of the half, and the defense closed it out.
And there's a kickoff through the end zone and off the wall, and that will give the Havoc the ball on the 20-yard line to get things going here in the second half. And if you're the Tarpons, you have to find a way to slow down this offense. Only the one stop right there before halftime on the deep interception, like you said, was more like a punt.
And the reason why they got that stop was because they got some pressure finally on the quarterback.
Yeah, really we didn't see any till that last possession, and the Tarpons. So we'll see how they come out here in the second half. If they can duplicate that, this could get very, very interesting. And the Havoc hoping to pick up where they left off in the first half. And the man in motion down the boards over there, and there's that pressure we talked about.
That's been their best defensive play all night, was that pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, Chapel just nobody really to go to there. That'll set up a second and long. Of course, you said the dasher boards are in play. It is a running clock for those new to the Arena League. Right down to the last 1 minute of the half. Can have one receiver in motion, and he can be going towards the line, as you see there. Oh, almost intercepted. Just didn't see him.
Well, you know, the one of the reasons why that pass was incomplete, the quarterback, if you saw the quarterback when he dropped back, he patted the ball. And you don't have time to pat the ball. Your quarterback is set, ready to throw. You can't pat the ball here. You got to be set, ready to throw, deliver the ball. Now, these guys are going to close. And, you know, you don't have much space here. And when you pat that ball, that defensive guy is still closing at the same time while you're patting. Then you go back to make the throw. It results in a broken up pass.
And luckily for the Havoc, they still retain possession. But that sets them up for a 3rd and long. Of course, no punting in the Arena League. Chappell takes a drop. He's going to get hit as he throws. And I don't know what the adjustment is that the Tarpons have made, but all of a sudden the pressure's there. It was not there for the majority of the first half.
That is some good pressure. But you know, that's some good pressure, but also at the same time, the quarterback had plenty enough time to make the throw and to complete the pass still. And it looks like there was a confusion on the routes. I mean, it looked like the receiver ran the wrong route, what it looked like. Quarterback threw to that spot. You saw the receiver throw his hands up. You had 2 guys in the same spot. That never happens, and it should never happen.
Yeah, especially on this small of a field.
Absolutely.
Got to keep them separated. Yeah, so that'll bring up a do or die down here, 4th and 18 for the Tarpons. I mean, for the Havoc. And he's going to have it, and then some, down to the 15. Cuts across field down to the 10, and trying to slide in over there. That
was a good play.
That was a very good, well-designed play.
Well-designed play. And you saw that motion man. The motion man is really the one that made that play come open. He took off full speed downfield, forced that Jack linebacker to cover him, was left the middle of the field wide open.
Yep, just pulled him out of there. And that's going to set up a 1st and goal for the Havoc down on their Tarpons 6-yard line. Lewis in motion. A handoff. And nice little spin move down to about the 3-yard line. There's a flag on the play. Five-man officiating crew for AAL ball. Much to the dismay of the crowd.
And sportsmanlike.
Yeah, those are the kind that'll drive a coach nuts because they're just not it's not a competitive penalty.
Correct. That's something that you can control. And you see he's going out.
Yes, that will get you a little time with the coach in your ear.
And we used to call it the A-man corner.
Yes.
There ain't too many A-mans going on over there.
35-21, down to 10:43 to go in the 3rd period. Chappell under center. Takes a snap. And he gets hit as he lets go, but gets the ball complete. He pulls away, and it's going to be close down to the goal line down there. And see what the flag is this time. Roughing the passer.
Should be automatic 1st and goal.
Going below the knees, I believe was the call.
Yeah, you have to protect those quarterbacks. They're defenseless.
Especially because there's going to be a lot of contact in this Arena League. Everything's compact. You're not going to keep that quarterback clean all night. So that makes it a 1st and goal from looks like about the 2.5. Tarpons had an opportunity, had the big 4th down that the Havoc were able to convert. That'll be big if they can get points out of this. Chappell takes snap, handoff, and gonna be a little bit short. It's going to set up a second and goal, and like you discussed it earlier in the ball game, that's where we're going to see the majority of the running in this league is going to be. Right there.
Right
I
up.
would say between the tackles, between the guards, there are no tackles.
Right, yeah, right up the gut. That's what we call it, right up the gut.
That's why a lot of these running backs tend to be more the battering rams than
yeah. Big bruisers.
Yep. Havoc looking to extend that lead and double up the Tarpons. Nice, nice play.
That's a heck of a play. I never would have thought. I never would have thought.
The fake pitch, and everybody went that way.
Yeah, I mean, I never would have thought that. Wow, that's a heck of a play.
Yep, just no recovery time.
Yeah,
And
that's a very good call, and more importantly, a well-executed play.
It was, and that pushes that lead out to 20, trying to add one more here. As Solomon lines up for it. Of course, he had his first attempt blocked, but then came back and kicked one through the uprights on the kickoff and made up for that point later on. There's a snap, and the kick is up. And it is good, and just like that, 42-21. But maybe more importantly, if you're the Havoc, you ate up almost half the period.
Yeah, and that's what's bigger than probably the score itself.
Right.
Is you not only did you score, but you took a lot of time off that clock. And really, that doesn't happen much in this arena game.
No, this is not your prototypical Arena League game. I've seen a lot of them that are the scores in the 60s.
Oh, yeah,
it's 63, 58,
yeah.
and not exactly what we've got here, although the Havoc continues to roll like they're going. They could get up into the 60s. And there's a nice picture of Buford Arena here in Buford, Georgia. And new facilities up here. This would be the first thing that's happened that wasn't tied directly to GHSA. And seats 5,500 folks, 130,000 square feet, $21 million construction cost, and city schools are operating it, and boy, they got a beautiful facility here.
Very nice venue, very nice. And you guys should really, those that are listening and watching, should really come out and support this,
especially
this Havoc team.
This is, there's not a lot of things you can afford to take the whole family to anymore, and this is one of those things that, and great atmosphere for kids. You got kids running around all over the place. It's just a nice facility. And someplace you can bring the youngsters and enjoy a ball game. And there's a kickoff and off the hands, and we'll see how far he can bring it out. He's got a lane right there out to the 19-yard line. Big collision.
It's a big hit there. Yeah, I mean, as you were saying, this is again, the prices are great.
Yeah.
Tailgating in the parking lot. Got activities for the kids in the parking lot.
Yeah, they had a lot of inflatables out there when we came up. We had folks out there tailgating, and folks here in Buford are embracing it, and they got a nice product up here. And, I was surprised. I was coming all the way from the south side up, and when I got on there, GPS told me an hour and 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. So on a Saturday, straight through Atlanta, I don't care where you are. It's not a bad trip up here. As the Tarpons take over, trailing by 3 touchdowns. Dances around, gets rid of it. Little completion off to the side, and he'll pick up a few yards.
Going back, and again, I work for the Atlanta Falcons, and the NFL do things at a very elite level, and again, participating in a lot of things that the Georgia Force was doing as well. I can tell you very honestly, this takes no backseat to what they were doing, as far as class and as far as how everything is presented and how everything looks and the crowd participation. I tell you, it's a good atmosphere. You really, if you like the Falcons game and you like the Georgia Force, you really will like this Havoc team. You really would.
And the setting is a great one here. There's a snap man in motion and Got a little time this time. Got a lot of time. Can't find anybody open. Finally does and completes it down to about the 14-yard line.
Wow.
Well, that's as much time as you're ever going to see somebody have in this league.
Yeah.
So down to 6:52 here in the third. Clock continues to run. And it, you know, got a good turnout here for game number one.
Game number one, yeah. And it's only going to get better.
Oh, exactly.
It's only going to get better.
And the crowd's been into it really from the beginning. The Havoc have given a lot to cheer about. There's a snap, going to try and hit him on a just missed time that one.
He never saw it, yeah.
Yep.
And you're right. I mean, the fans are into it. You got some ladies down there dancing in the end zone, and you got the DJ over here playing, making me want to dance a little bit.
And I believe they've got a concert after the game tonight as they're setting
like,
up over in the corner.
Yeah. And it's a great atmosphere. Great atmosphere.
Laser show at halftime.
And we don't get paid to sell tickets.
No, we don't. Hey, I called my daughter at halftime. She's got 2 little boys. I told her you got to get them up here.
Yeah, they really would enjoy it.
Yep. 42-21. Drop a little pressure this time. Dropped the ball. You can't afford that in this league.
Wow, got to make that catch.
Kind of sliding down around the 6-yard line. Couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, you have to make that catch there. That was a huge down. Second down. Could have been second and about 6 or 7 going in. And then you're third and 13, 12.
And trailing by 21. No punting anyhow, but you got to figure there's no field goals if you're the Tarpons at this point.
Yeah, you're not playing for field goals at this point. There comes a point in the game where you're no longer playing the team. You're playing the clock.
Right.
And, this is – you probably about – you're definitely 4 minutes away from being in that situation. And depends on this down here.
If you can hold here, it really does become a game between you and the clock.
Absolutely.
3rd and 10 as the Tarpons look to cut into that 21-point Atlanta lead. There's a snap and going to hit a man cutting across and no flags.
Closing again, I tell you. These guys close very well on the ball.
A little bit of contact, but I think a good no call there by the official. As DeVault could not come up with that one. And now a big 4th down here for the Tarpons. A stop here would be huge. There's a snap.
Wow.
Comes up empty and no flags again.
They're in a bad. The Tarpons are in a bad place now.
Yes, they are, and that's going to go over to downs on the Havoc.
Especially if the Havoc come back here and put points on the board.
Yeah.
I mean, you're no longer playing the team at that point. You're definitely playing the clock.
And for those of you who may just now be joining us, this is not just any team from the AAL coming in here tonight. This is a team that is 2 championships in 7 years, never finished worse than second.
Wow. Impressive.
And this is who you're starting out with, and you have shown up, and right now you're the better team by looks like a good portion, and a big part of it's been that defensive line.
I mean, and the thing about Havoc, I mean, they consistently play well all night.
Yes, there have been no lulls. Right. Exactly.
There haven't been spurts here where we did great here and we let down here. I mean, they consistently play well on both sides of the ball all night.
Probably the slowest they were was coming out of the half where they got into that 4th and 18 after the sack. And, we saw that pressure from the Tarpons then, and it kind of went away again.
Yep.
penalty on the Havoc there. That's going to set up a 1st and 15. Which is good and bad. All they're doing is chewing a ton of clock up here.
Yeah.
Down inside 2 minutes now here in the 3rd period. A little handoff in the inside. That's a nice.
Oh, he'll pick up the first.
Well, got a little extracurricular going on over there.
Hey,
but
keep blocking to the whistle.
There you go. 6-yard gain, and that's going to.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. Got to know when to stop.
Yeah, you do.
That's going to set up a 2nd and 8, giving him 7 yards on that run. So we got the penalty yardage and then just a little bit more back. We're going to have an extended timeout here. Is it going to? Havoc's going to talk it over. And we're back to play. Under a minute. Yeah, if you're the Havoc, really the penalties are the only thing that you, if you're the coaching staff, you can really harp on. And
yeah, those are things. That's what you really got to get cleaned up in those penalties.
Yeah, close game that'll hurt you.
Yeah.
There's a throw to the corner, wide open, touchdown.
Wow. That guy can run some very nice routes.
Yes, he does, and that's McDaniel again. I think that's his 3rd of the ball game.
Yeah, he runs some good routes. Sanford University, of course.
And that's 48-21.
He just happens to be a local kid. He just happens to be from Beaufort, Georgia.
How about them apples?
He just happens to be.
I bet Mom and Dad are somewhere in.
Oh, I'm sure. I am sure.
And a bunch more probably.
Yeah, I'm sure. And that's going to run the court out as well.
Yep. So if you're the Havoc, 48-21, 1 quarter to play. And now, like you said, it becomes clock management.
Yeah. You're just playing the clock now. You're no longer playing the team.
And if you are an Atlanta Havoc fan, you have got to be extremely excited about this.
Oh, you're definitely excited about this. Man, again, I think nobody's more excited than the owner right now.
There's a bobble on the extra point.
That's a 2nd bobble tonight.
Yep, that's something else for them to work on.
Yeah, they'll clean that up as well.
Yep. And that's the thing. It's hard to really remember that this is indeed their first game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they look like they've been playing like about their 4th, 5th game. They're playing smooth. Again, from an execution standpoint, they're doing everything they need to do on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
Again, we just had a couple of little miscues just on an extra point attempt, but I think they'll get all those things cleared up.
And they're at the Georgia Doom next week down in Macon. So that's an easy trip down there if you want to support them on the road.
And that'll be a good game.
Right back here for the Triangle Torch out of North Carolina on the 31st. Then the Austin Wild come into town. They are one of the affiliate teams. They'll come in. So that won't count in the standings as far as for the playoffs. Then they are at Florida. And then you see the rest of the schedule there. There's the Florida Tarpons. They're at High Country Grizzlies. That's up, I believe, in North Carolina as well. And Richmond Rough Riders. Home for the Havoc, home for the Wild, and home for the Torch. So
some good games. You guys should definitely come out and see these guys play. This is a great atmosphere for the whole family. This is something, honestly, that you can bring the entire family to.
Yep.
And just sit back and just watch and enjoy.
Have a good evening. And the thing is, because of the pace of play, you don't have to be a huge football fan to enjoy this.
Right. It has a basketball feel to it because
Right.
it's a fast break.
Right.
Wide open, throw the ball to me now so I can go dunk it type atmosphere.
Exactly. So Havoc getting ready to kick things off here. 48-21 the score as we head into the fourth period of this one. So the Tarpons will get another shot at the Havoc later in the season down in Lakeland. But tonight, thus far, it has been all Havoc.
The Havoc is wreaking havoc.
Yes, absolutely. There's a kick, and that one sailed underneath the upright for a touchback. He almost got him another one.
Yeah, he almost got it.
And if you kick it through, it's a point, and the other team starts on the 5-yard line. So kind of get that double whammy there. So the Havoc will start out here on the Tarpons will start out on their own 5-yard line.
Yeah.
And that.
We just look natural.
Yeah, yeah. That'll put them in a hole, and there's a pass. He bobbled it but came up with it at about the 11-yard line, so that'll set up a 2nd and 4 for the Tarpons. They're going to give him the 12-yard line. So
you're talking about a very good football organization.
Yes.
So this is not a team. I mean, again, you have to reemphasize how good the Havoc team is really playing.
Mm-hmm. This is not another expansion team they're playing.
Absolutely.
So that's going to set up a 2nd and 4. Quick hitter to the 15, going to take it out to about the 23. Going to rule him out, looks like it's the 21. As the dasher boards are in play. But that clock is ticking away.
That clock is just flying by.
Havoc, you're more than happy to give up those 5-6 yard plays. Big contact over there. Hit a man cutting across the middle. Nice tackle coming back, and it's that closing speed. This team, these defensive backs, you talked about it.
Yeah, these guys close and they hit. One thing I have noticed with this team is that you don't get too many yards after contact. You don't get too many yak yards. Once they hit you, you just about go down at that spot when they make contact.
Yeah, and Crosby doing a good job of closing from behind there. As Wallace comes back up under center. He'll look for the man over here on the sideline. That one's going to go off his hands and out of bounds. And we've seen that a couple times with the Tarpons tonight. A couple drop passes.
Yeah, they just look like they just haven't been in sync the whole night, other than the deep ball. That's been their best play all night. I mean, every touchdown they have has been a deep ball.
It's going to set up a 2nd and 10, and as we said, Havoc more than happy to let them take those little 5-yard outs and
I'll give you that every
just
time.
tackle.
Yep. I'll give you that. That's not going to beat me.
No.
That's not going to beat me.
Wallace takes a snap. That one's going to hop a little bit short on that one.
Brings up 3rd down.
It does.
And you're in 2-down territory. You're definitely going for it.
Yep.
They're going for it anyway in this game.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter the situation.
That's it. No punting. Well, we saw it in their first drive of the ball game. They had an opportunity to kick a field goal. Of course, they were way off to the left-hand side, and that would have been a very difficult one. They went for it, didn't get it, and that kind of set the tone for the rest of the night.
It really did.
So 3rd and 10 from the Havoc 17. There's a man coming open, almost intercepted, tipped around, and
these guys are closing on everything.
That they are.
Everything. Also, if you notice a quarterback throwing the ball off his back heel, that's one thing quarterbacks are never taught to do. Don't ever do that, because you have no drive on the ball. You don't have the ability to force the ball in there.
And that's something we saw. The Havoc kind of has baited him into a couple throws he shouldn't have made. One of them, those going all the way back for a touchdown.
Yeah, throwing the ball off your back foot like that at any level, young people out there listening and watching the game, do not try to throw the football off the back foot. There are only a handful of guys that can do that and get away with it, and they all make a whole lot more than us.
Exactly. There's a snap, going to throw into the end zone and out of bounds. And you can see from the body language.
Yeah, it's just about over.
Yeah, 10:42, and the ball's going to go over on downs to the Havoc. And, you know, for me, if I had to pick an MVP, be on that defensive line right now. They set the tone early in this one.
They set the tone early, then the defensive back stepped up, and they were closing out as well. I mean, it's just been a good defensive game. And, you know, you can also say, you know, the Havoc's offense they've had some explosive plays as well.
That they have. They have been extraordinarily consistent, and that's what you want maybe more than anything out of your offense, is just that consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan McDaniel, he probably had 3 scores tonight, I think, already. Big game. Big game.
And Chapel's had a good night at quarterback tonight out of North Alabama. Take the snap and threw a little bit behind his receiver as McDaniel probably better off not even catching that ball.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the Havoc is up 27 points. People still here.
Exactly.
They're enjoying it. They haven't left yet. And we're in the 4th quarter. Normally you go to an NFL game, of course, people are leaving, headed to the exits by now. These people are still here, enjoying this team, enjoying this atmosphere, enjoying this game.
And there has been a lot to enjoy if you're wearing green and black tonight.
I see some kids doing the whip and the nay-nay. They're playing the whip and nay-nay.
Got a little time to practice their moves tonight. Hit him at the 25. Nice open field tackle there as he was engaged but was able to come back and make the tackle.
Yeah, that's a nice
for the Tarpons.
That's a nice play. Nice little, they run some good routes, I tell you. And then most importantly, the receivers are getting what we call setting down in the hole, because you got a zone coverage. That's what you got. Defense is giving you a zone. Anytime the rule is if there's a zone, you sit down in the hole. If it's man, you just run away. Right. So the receivers are getting to the spot, sitting down in the zone. Quarterback's doing a good job of getting the ball to the receiver in the hole and just letting the receiver do the rest.
McDaniel is the motion receiver. He'll run a little handoff, a little sweep, and not much doing there.
No, not that lateral.
And we're going a little extracurricular again.
This is going to go against both of them probably, but number 4 again.
Yep.
For Florida, they threw a punch. I don't know what they're going to do about that this time.
Yeah, it was Ellis throwing one back in the first half. This time it's Johnson.
This is something that this will drive a coach crazy if you're the Havoc. In this situation, 9 minutes left to go in the game, you're up by 27 points. This isn't what you want to do. This will have you sitting for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's where you just turn and point at the scoreboard.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You want to give me some free yardage, I'll take it. Look at the scoreboard.
Absolutely. Wow.
And they're going to call it on the Havoc.
Wow. He probably should have called that both ways. They both were involved in that.
Yep.
But again, that's another one of those penalty situations where in a closer game with all the penalty yards you've given up tonight, I mean, that stuff comes back to haunt you.
Yep, that's the one thing you can really point to and not be happy about if you're the Havoc coach. back up. Chapel under center, Brown to his left. And Chapel pulls away, going to tuck it and run to the 25 down at the 21-yard line. I don't see a flag on the field, but he did duck his head almost like. Wow. At any rate, that is going to be a nice little scramble there by Chapel. Is the biggest problem the Tarpons have had tonight. They just can't get consistent pressure on Chapel.
Absolutely. I mean, they've shown signs of being able to get in the backfield and disrupt the play, but they haven't done it consistently.
Right.
And that's what it's going to take.
So down to 8:05 to go in the ball game. And that's the other thing. You're not talking about a huge time investment. 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Right.
And we're down to 7:56 in the ball game.
Yeah.
So
and the game is going, I can tell you that, there's a good pace to the game.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you stay in the game as a fan, and you stay engaged, and everybody's still excited, jumping around. Like I said, it's 7 minutes left to go in this game, and they're up by 27 points, and everybody's still here.
And another penalty on the Havoc, so that continues to be the theme. Going to make it a 3rd and 13.
Wow.
And, it's one of those where it hadn't hurt them tonight, but as we said, getting a tight ball game, that'll get you beat.
That'll get you beat, definitely, on any level.
Exactly. Chapel drops back. Going to hit a man cutting across field, overthrown a little bit. Nice job by the receiver turning the defender there.
Yeah, that's a great job. It was a great breakup by the defender that time, by the offensive guy.
Right.
On that play.
Lewis kind of changing roles there. He was out of Howard University.
He's a big receiver too. He's 6'5". Yeah, he's a big guy. You can look at him. He looks like he's a big receiver.
Now 4th and 13. This is the second 4th down for the Havoc in the second half. It looks like they may try a field goal here.
Might as well.
Yep.
Might as well work on it.
Yep, find out what you got here.
Block's not going to hurt.
So Solomon will attempt the first field goal of the ball game. There's a snap, and the kick is up and blocked. And that one's going to be a scrum down there about the.
Yeah, that one didn't have a chance. That guy came free.
Yeah,
your up back moved. He should have stayed where he was. And when he went from the left to the right side, there was nobody coming from the right side. He should have stayed where he was. He'd easily pick that guy up.
Yep.
And they'd been able to get the kickoff.
Yeah, he didn't even have to jump. That one hit him in the face mask.
He smashed it to the ground.
Yes. So the Tarpons set up a good field position here with 6:09 to go on the Havoc 18.5-yard line. 1st and 10, but more importantly, if you're a Havoc fan, it's 48-21.
And that's all that matters right now. Right now as a coach, you're just ready to get the game over with, injury-free.
Exactly.
And get on to next week.
There's a snap. He loses the handle. He's going to take a deep drop, and they're going to get him again.
That defense has been playing outstanding tonight.
That they have, and that mishandling of the ball is all it took. And Larry Ford was back there to clean things up out of West Virginia.
Wow.
6'4", 260-pound defensive lineman getting it done there. (48-21), 5:27, and the clock is running. He's not the friend of the Tarpons. There's a snap. And he hit a man cutting across the field, threw it behind him. He couldn't come up with it. It's one of those you got to have it in a game like this.
You have to make that play as a receiver. I know the pass was thrown behind you, but
yeah, DeVault couldn't.
You have to make that play right there. That's a huge play. Bad throw, but you still have to make that play.
Yeah, Wallace put it behind him, but that's the second one we've seen DeVault not able to come up with.
Right.
And, you know, I can't recall a drop pass by the Havoc tonight.
No.
I mean.
No, not a drop. Not just a drop.
So Wallace stands in under center. More pressure from the Havoc. Oh, he got hammered on that one. Big hit as Eric Crosby came up and just.
Wow. Wow.
They may need to put him in that concussion protocol. He took a lick there.
He took a shot. Wow.
That's as big a hit as you're going to see.
You know what, though? In
this league.
The good thing he saw him, he led with his forearm.
He did.
As opposed to
it was a clean hit. Yep. It was a big hit, but a clean hit. And that has been the story of this ball game has been that defensive line and the pressure they've applied. And that is a huge hit by Crosby.
He came up like a missile.
He did.
Big hit.
So that's going to set up a 4th and 22. A little short pass to the side, going to try and run for it. And the way this team tackles, that's not going to work. The ball will go over on downs. As Hilton didn't, you're asking him to run for 20 yards against a team that tackles very well and closes very well.
Yeah, they close very well. That'll be the ball game right there. That will be. There's no way that.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 27.
Yeah, I think
swing.
you can roll Tom Brady out there at this point.
At this point,
he'd be all right.
The Havoc's going to come out of this game victorious. What a good evening of football for this program. These players and the coaching staff and the fans.
Yep. It's a great way to start.
And look at them celebrating on the field.
It'd be interesting to see how many expansion teams actually win their first ball game. It doesn't happen often in any sport.
Not only that, but against a team like
not against just
Tarpons.
any team, but one of the blue bloods.
Yeah, against the New England Patriots of their division.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Havoc have a new quarterback in. As Eubanks will come in and finish this out.
He's wide open.
He was wide open, overthrew him on the side.
And they're still trying to score points.
Well, I think that's the name of the game in this league.
Yeah. Keep attacking.
A lot of new players in for the Havoc now. As the fans are celebrating.
Well, I guess you almost have to throw the ball because, again, the running game is non-existent.
Yeah, unless you're inside the, close in or need a yard or two, it's just not a lot of running game here.
So they're not trying to run the score up. That's how this game is played.
Exactly.
Indoor game.
Eubanks in at quarterback. And he's going to get sacked. Just don't have that kind of time in this league.
No, you don't. He's holding the ball too long, number one. Secondly, receivers can't get jammed at the line.
Right.
That's where he's trying to go with the ball. And in that situation, quarterback just got to throw the ball away.
So down to 146 now. 3rd and 15. Eubanks will hustle into the huddle. Havoc looking for a first down here, pretty much salt this thing away. He hits a man over the middle and off the and there's an interception on the 2-time rebounded ball. And they're going to drag him down at the 12.
Yeah, you want to get down right there in that situation anyway.
Once again, though, if you're the Havoc, that's as good as a punt.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Down to 111. Up 48-21. I don't think in your wildest dreams, if you're the Havoc, you thought you'd win this ball game like this.
Yeah. I mean, I think they just want to come in, again, knowing the history of this team, just want to come in, play a good game, play our game, and get better, and very honestly, and
right.
try not to make mistakes that cause us to beat ourselves,
right?
And which will give us a chance.
Well, and that's what you've seen out of the Havoc. They've just played very consistent ball all night long. They haven't done anything outside their norm. It's not like they're running trick plays or a lot of craziness going on. Just execution.
Yeah, just throwing and catching.
Yep.
And just tackling and just setting the tempo early. We talked about in the very first possession on both sides of the ball. They set the tempo early. And, they struck this Florida team in the mouth early. And they haven't recovered.
Yeah, the Tarpons definitely need to go back to the drawing board and work on a couple things. As like we said, they get another shot at the Havoc in about 5 weeks, I think. So
they'll fix some things.
Oh, they're probably a little different team when you see them next time.
I tell you.
A little pitch play, and they're going to.
I'll tell you another thing is that the difference between the two teams from a scouting standpoint, I know nothing about this Havoc team, but they know everything about us because of our history.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
But
a little more tape to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. So now moving forward, they'll have some film on this Havoc team, and they'll make some adjustments, and then they'll play better the next game, I'm sure.
Well, it's a lot like you see with Major League pitchers the first time through. They're very successful. A lot of times the second time through, not as much. So,
like Cam Newton had an amazing year his first year. Second year, not so amazing.
Right. You get a book.
We had an opportunity to watch him on film. We studied him. We made adjustments.
There's pass and another quick close by the Havoc. As they'll give that up all night long, down to 12.5 seconds. And you're about to put this first victory in the book for So here we are with 12.5 seconds. Takes a snap, a little quick hitter, and another great open field tackle. I mean, I'll take that. I don't care what league you're playing in.
It doesn't matter what league. It doesn't matter. That's how you play football right there. As a cornerback, you close, you make the play. Guy doesn't move another inch.
Right, and that's kind of explanation point on the end of this ball game. As the Havoc are going to go home 48-21 winners here in their home opener. Their opener is a franchise, and they've got to be all smiles for the ones in green. A nice night to be an Atlanta Havoc fan.
I just have to find out what is a Havoc. What is a Havoc? Or are we just causing havoc?
And it looked like it might be like a wolf. I saw the mascot out there earlier.
Okay.
We're going to have to get more information on that.
About that. Yeah.
I know Florida's mascot is Timmy the Tarpon.
Wow.
So I'm not sure about the Havocs. We'll have to know that by next time.
Yeah, we need to know that.
So we'll be back with you in 2 weeks. They'll be on the road next week down in Macon. So not a bad trip down there to Macon to see them take on the Doom.
Yeah.
That's something that could blossom into a pretty good rivalry with them being that close, and a team out there in Dalton as well.
That'll be a good game. I tell you, I'm really impressed with this team. I tell you, I can't say it anymore, but come out and watch this team play. You guys are really going to like what you see.
Yeah, I think they will. And once again, from here in Buford, Georgia, it's been a beautiful night to be a Havoc fan. Everybody wearing green at St. Patrick's Day, and the party is on if you're the Atlanta Havoc. Of course, as we talked about it, they'll be down in Macon playing the Doom next week. The one thing you said that they need to clean up is absolutely the penalties.
Right, you got to clean those penalties up. Coaches know for a fact that those things will get you beat in a much tighter game. Not tonight, though.
Right, and a couple of them were the personal fouls, and that really will set a coach off.
Yeah, those personal fouls are things that you can control. You know, a lot of things, if you have penalties as relate to playing the game, such as a holding call or a pass interference or whatever, coaches can almost get over that. But things like a personal foul, or sportsmanship, or conduct penalty, they hate that.
Well, and, you know, both teams had a couple of them tonight. Got a little chippy a couple times. And, you know, that's, of course, looking at the schedule. Georgia Doom next week, March 24th, down in Macon. Then the Triangle Torch out of North Carolina come down on the 31st. That'll be a home game, 7 o'clock. April 15th, the Austin Wild come in. Then they're back down playing the Florida Tarpons on the 21st. Savannah Outlaws coming in on the 28th. So some big games coming up for the Havoc. And as we said, a lot of close-by teams.
Yeah. There'll be some good football being played here. Again, I'm going to say again, definitely get out here and watch this Havoc team play here at the BUFORD Arena. Very nice facility. You guys will love it here.
Very family friendly. Bring them out, have a great time. And, you know, it has been all smiles out here in BUFORD.
Yeah, been a lot of fun.
Yep, so the Atlanta Havoc get off to a 1-0 start as they win their home opener against one of the Blue Bloods out of the AAL, a team that's got a couple of championships to their name and have never finished worse than second.
Wow, very impressive, very impressive.
Yes, that it is. And I guess that's going to about do it for us here from BUFORD tonight, as from the BUFORD Arena. It's been a wonderful one. Enjoyed doing it with you, Walter.
Oh, absolutely.
Look forward to doing it again here in a couple weeks.
Absolutely.
And I believe that's about all we had for this evening. Okay, we want to getting back to what we saw on the field. To me, if you had to pick maybe a MVP, it would be a group to me. And it'd be that defensive line who really set the tone.
It would definitely be that defensive line as well as McDaniel on offense. I mean, he had a great game as a wide receiver. I think he caught 3 touchdown passes. Great job all night.
It was a great one. Great night from BUFORD Arena. We'll catch you again here in 2 weeks when it will be back here, and I believe it is – I forget who's coming in. But anyhow, that'll do it for us tonight from BUFORD. Good night, everyone.
Good.
Tarpons.